What does it take to be seen when the world has already decided who you are? I stood in the pristine lobby of Pinnacle Enterprises, my shoes polished to a mirror shine, my suit crisp but unassuming. At 25, I looked like any other intern, eager, slightly nervous, clutching a leather portfolio that held more than anyone here could imagine. The receptionist, Ms. Hargrove, barely glanced up from her desk. Her sharp eyes sized me up, her lips curling into a dismissive smirk. "The intern can wait outside," she said, her voice cold as the marble floor beneath my feet. I nodded, stepping back into the hallway, my heart steady but my mind racing. She had no idea who I was. Nobody did, and that was exactly how I wanted it. 3 years ago, I was a nobody, a kid from a small town with big dreams and a knack for numbers. I built Pinnacle from a dorm room startup into a global powerhouse, all before I could legally rent a car. But success came at a cost. Investors, board members, and even my own employees saw me as a figurehead, a boy genius who got lucky. They didn't see the sleepless nights, the code I wrote until my fingers bled, or the deals I closed with nothing but grit and instinct. So I stepped back. I handed the CEO title to someone else, kept my chairman role quiet, and decided to see what my company had become without my shadow looming over it. Today was my first day back as an intern. The hallway was quiet, save for the hum of ambition leaking through the glass conference room doors. Inside, the senior team was gathered, their voices sharp with urgency. I caught snippets of their discussion: budget cuts, layoffs, a new product launch teetering on failure. Ms. Hargrove's words echoed in my mind. "The intern can wait outside." I could have walked in, revealed myself, and watched their jaws drop. But I didn't. I wanted to see how deep the rot went. Hours passed. I sat on a stiff bench, observing. Employees rushed by, their faces taut with stress. Nobody noticed me. Nobody cared. I was just the intern, invisible in their world of power plays and corner offices. But invisibility has its advantages. I overheard whispers of discontent, managers cutting corners, teams pitted against each other, a culture of fear strangling the innovation I'd built this company to foster. My stomach churned. This wasn't the Pinnacle I'd envisioned. Finally, the conference room doors swung open. Ms. Hargrove beckoned me inside, her tone dripping with condescension. "They're ready for you now, intern. Don't waste their time." I stood, smoothing my jacket, and walked in. The room was a battlefield of egos, executives in tailored suits, their eyes narrowing at the sight of me. The CEO, Richard Callahan, leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. "Who's this kid?" he barked, not bothering to lower his voice. I set my portfolio on the table, my movements deliberate. "I'm Ethan Carter," I said, my voice calm but firm. "I'm here to discuss the company's direction." A ripple of laughter spread through the room. Callahan snorted. "The intern? You're here to take notes, kid. Sit down and stay quiet." I didn't sit. Instead, I opened my portfolio and slid a single document across the table. It was the original company charter, my signature at the bottom: Ethan Carter, founder and chairman of the board. The room fell silent. Callahan's smirk vanished as he read the page. Faces paled, eyes widened. Ms. Hargrove, standing by the door, froze, her clipboard trembling in her hands. "I built this company," I said, my voice cutting through the silence. "And I've watched it drift from everything it was meant to be. You've turned it into a machine that chews up people and spits out profit. That ends today." The air was thick with shock, but I wasn't done. I laid out the numbers, data I'd pulled from the company's servers the night before. Sales were slipping, morale was at an all-time low, and the new product was a disaster because nobody trusted each other enough to collaborate. I spoke of the employees I'd seen in the hallway, their passion stifled by bureaucracy. I spoke of the values I'd poured into Pinnacle: innovation, integrity, humanity, and how they'd been forgotten. Callahan tried to interrupt, his face red, but I held up a hand. "You're done, Richard. I'm taking back the reins." The board members exchanged glances, some nodding, others too stunned to speak. I wasn't just the chairman. I was the one who'd created every opportunity they had. And I wasn't here to play games. Over the next hour, I laid out my plan. No more layoffs. A new focus on employee well-being. A return to the bold, creative risks that had made Pinnacle a leader in the first place. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The weight of my words and my title did the work. As the meeting ended, Ms. Hargrove approached, her face ashen. Mr. Carter, I didn't know. I looked at her, not with anger, but with resolve. Next time, don't judge someone by their title or lack of one. She nodded, her eyes downcast. I left the room, the weight of the moment settling over me. Pinnacle was mine again, but this wasn't about power. It was about purpose. I'd built this company to change lives, not just bank accounts. And I'd start by changing the culture one person, one story, one moment at a time. The hallway felt different now. Employees glanced at me, whispers following in my wake. I wasn't invisible anymore. But I didn't need their awe. I needed their trust. And I'd earn it, not as the chairman, but as the man who believed in what Pinnacle could be. Because in the end, it's not about titles. It's about what you do with the time you're given even if you're told to wait outside.